All right, well, what is up, everybody? We back. Sorry for missing last week. Sometimes if I don't have like a drive, sometimes I can't get these extra videos out on Friday. Have my Mayo Media Network commitment in the morning, so it's hard to sometimes double this up on top of other commitments. But I'm so glad to be back. This is an interesting one. I'm actually really looking forward to talking about this 3-gamer, which is weird, right? Because normally we love 5 to 6 gamers. I think that's where the most edge is. But it's a really good 3-gamer where you can get set guys in almost every position. And, I think there's a lot of ways to switch it up and a lot of interesting discussions. So let's jump right into it. But a quick reminder, first off, Shade's going on. So I'm sure somebody's going to give me some sort of comment about that. The Target $20 shades. I had this dude one time, by the way. This is just an aside, and if this is your first time watching driving videos, just I'm sorry. If you want the more professional version of me and my content, check out the Mayo Media Network one. It's definitely more put together than this one where I'm a little bit all over the place, hence being in a car and all that good stuff. But I had this one guy tell me he had somebody talk him into $1,000 shades, and that just made him feel super cool. Do you know what makes me feel cool? Just having a $20 shades that does the same thing. I don't know, just me. Anyhow, just a reminder, subscribe, comment. Really does help this channel grow. Well over 3,000 subscribers. Would love to keep getting this channel to grow. Just one bit that I want to bring up, and please put this in comments for me, but I am 100% this week going to be doing starting a DFS soccer tutorial on the channel. That is definitely happening. I just love to know if there's any specific topics people would want me to go over, and I certainly will plan to do that. It's been something that's been on my mind for a while, and it's just got to get done. So that will be coming as well. Drop if you have any ideas or topics. All right, let's get into the 3 games. All right, so first game, Liverpool hosting Southampton. Liverpool, the only minus favorite, minus 345. It's right about a 3 total. This is the only game with over 2.5 total. This is going to be where you want to use a lot of your salary. The other games are going to be your value. So at the top, I think, first off, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Look, on my Mayo video, I said 9,000 is underpriced. Can't remember if it's 9,000, 9,200. Trent Alexander-Arnold, based on production, is a 10-5 player. Okay, Kevin De Bruyne gets 10, 10-5 when he's in this situation. Trent Alexander-Arnold has at this point. And look, I don't have the RotoWire data or any of those data sources, but Trent Alexander-Arnold has the best floor in the EPL. I'm sure you can prove me differently. James Ward-Prowse is up there, all these, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, for always being a favorite a lot, for his set piece, for his assist upside, all of that. The floor is just there. You're just locking and loading him everywhere, in my opinion, including GPP. I just don't really see an easy way to replace close to probably a 15-point floor, and then you get assists or goals or a clean sheet. You're talking 20, 25 plus. So I just think it's hard to replace. But the decision to me is going to come down to, do you play Mo Salah? I think the $2,200 discount from Salah to Mane is too big, where I prefer Mane or I prefer Jota for even less. I think Jota's 86, 85, something like that. I think I'd rather go those routes and then maybe go Salah for GPP. I think he might come in lower owned just because the price is so prohibitive. I can't say that word. So I think doing a stack of Salah, Mane, and TAA, that's classic Liverpool stack. I think that's going to potentially come in lowish owned because you just have no salary to work with afterwards. And those are my 3 favorite plays on the slate. Can you get Robertson in there too? I haven't played around enough, but that would be really interesting. But I think Mane is probably the cash route. I think forward, after Rashika, we'll go over in a minute, just drops off the map in terms of floors. So just taking a high upside, a solid goal-scoring equity guy like Mane, I think that makes a ton of sense. I can't complain or call anybody silly for doing Jota. I think Southampton's a half-decent team, so I prefer the little bit extra floor that you get for Mane. Also, a former Southampton player, so maybe there's a little bit of a revenge narrative there. I don't know. I haven't looked up the numbers to know how good Mane is versus Southampton, but Mane is just a class player. He's good against everybody. So that's how I would rate those. Robertson should be back in. I think he's a really good play. I think it's a 3 defender slate, so TAA is going to be one. Then it's like Robertson, Outnori, or Target are my next 3 favorite. Like, which 2 are you playing with TAA in cash? That's what I'd be doing. Second forward, there actually are some punt options from Liverpool. So Keita is still out and Curtis Jones is out. So one of those 3 midfield positions is going to be taken up by Thiago or Ox. They're both inexplicit. I can't talk. Inexplicit. I'm not even going to try to say that word. Whatever. Normally it's the names I can't pronounce, not the English words that I can't pronounce, but here we are. I don't know why they're still forward eligible. Ox, you could argue, played forward, 4 seasons ago for Arsenal, but Thiago has never been a forward yet. He's still midfield forward eligible, just proving that Draftkings doesn't actually know that soccer exists. But, you could punt one of them off. I think there's better routes to go. I don't think either one of them are necessarily a good floor or a good ceiling option. Thiago, if you haven't watched the goal from the Champions League, holy crap, that's probably one of the sickest technique goals you'll ever see. Ball hits it down and gets the rise out of it. It's just, I've probably only watched it 72 times at this point. But, I think both of them are okay if you want to punt it off. I think it certainly could work. Alisson goal is fine. I don't know. If Southampton scores here, I will not be shocked. Liverpool definitely has been giving up shots, which gives Alisson some ceiling. But, if he concedes, I wouldn't be shocked there at all. I think that covers Liverpool. Oh, Henderson's always actually kind of interesting as long as Fabinho's in and he plays one of those outside midfield roles. Just the sequence of play Liverpool runs so often is, getting Trent Alexander-Arnold to the byline, and if he can't cross it, he cuts it back to Henderson, who does that cross in from an angle. And, it's a really effective play that Liverpool probably sequences out 5-6 times a game. So Henderson's half decent, too. It's just the price, it's he's above some set-taking guys, so that's hard to do. All right, Southampton side of things, I would love James Ward-Prowse in any other slate, but this is just a bad matchup. There's other routes to go. 8,000 is okay price for him. I just don't see it working. Any of the 4 for GPP, sure, but we're going to go with other games. We're not going to be talking about Southampton. Second game, we're talking about Palace plus 120 hosting Villa. Palace just been really good all season. Kudos to Vieira for really putting together a effective team, effective tactics. All that being said, I think there's only 1.5 plays from here. I think if Luka Milivojevic is in, we just saw him take set pieces over Gallagher last weekend. He's 3,900. Yes, he's the type of player that I don't like to lock in because they don't come with a lot of outs, right? Taking a poker term. There's not a lot of outs. If all of a sudden he doesn't get set pieces, you're drawing to 3 to 4 DK. There's a chance of a yellow card. It could even get worse. But if you get set pieces, you're in 6-7 range at 3,900, and based on the slate complexion, you really need that savings. So because of the price, and Luka Milivojevic was 5,500, he's not even on my radar, right? I'll take Henderson over him. But because he's 3,900, I think he's very much on the short list in cash. Fade in GPP. It sucks. It used to be you get the upside with Milivojevic that he was on PKs, but we saw Zaha take the PK over Milivojevic. I don't see a reason to think that would be any different. If he's not in, Conor Gallagher, I think is in play. It's just really tough. I really like Conor Gallagher in that situation. Just really tough because of the salary constraints. So if you can make it work, I think that's fine. He and TAA would probably have the 2 best floors on the slate. Just would be negotiating that forward position. Maybe you can punt it off depending on who's in and get to Gallagher. That works. But it does seem like Milivojevic will be in. Zaha, all the Palace forwards I think are options. If you went Zaha over Mane, I wouldn't think that's crazy. I just think that odds kind of dictate you to shift towards Mane for only 1,100 more, or shift towards Jota. Ayew punt, Edouard punt, Benteke revenge narrative. Interesting enough. That's about Palace. Giata and goals certainly in play. Villa wasn't all that threatening last week until the end of the game. So, this could be a come back to earth moment for Stevie G's crew going to Selhurst. So from Villa, my top play on their side is Matt Target, 4,700. Had like 14 crosses last week. Was over a lot of the set pieces. He and Buendia split. We didn't see Leon. I don't remember if Leon Bailey started, but Leon Bailey had a pretty rough game. I guess he's in the fold for forward, but I just don't think I prefer it. It just Villa almost has too many set taking options. So if you're going to do a play like Matt Target, who's going to have open play value, sub 5,000 defender, makes a lot more sense than loading up on Buendia, who hasn't been the same as a Villa player as he was for Norwich, or a guy like Leon Bailey. An Ollie Watkins or Danny Ings if in GPP play, I think works. Matty Cash is fine, but playing Matty Cash over one of the other set-taking defenders seems like a waste to me. So there's just not a lot there for Villa. A lot of good players, but not the best spot ever at Selhurst and not the best prices. Final game, Wolves plus 115 away to 2 wins in a row. Norwich, one with departed coach, one with Dean Smith. Norwich at Carriage Road is always not a good place to go. Like, think about 2 years ago versus City, right? It was like second or third game, and Norwich, I think, scored 4 or 5 on them. So, like, Norwich is always live there, so I kind of like them here. That might be an interesting, like, upset pick. But I think Milot Rashica and Billy Gilmore are going to be 2 very popular cash options. Billy Gilmore, let's start with Rashica. Rashica is going to be popular because he's forward eligible and has a floor. We know he crosses the ball a lot in open play, takes some shots, draws some fouls, some set pieces, sub 7,000. Wolves is not a team I ever shy away from, so I think Rashica is a really nice play. It should be pretty popular in cash. And Billy Gilmore, sub 5,000. They had him moved up a little more advanced, so he is not as like set dependent as he was as like a Luka Modrić. So, I like that play a lot. If Cantwell's back in the fold, I think that's decent for GPP. You can always punch a ticket to the Pukki party. That works as well. But I think for cash, it's Billy Gilmore, Milot Rashica. Norman did not take set pieces. It was Gilmore and Rashica last week. Tim Krul, if you are kind of like me and thinking that this might be a good Norwich spot, they're always going to allow shots too, so you always have some save upside as well. You're not really playing for the clean sheet as much as you are for the saves. And maybe Norwich gets 3 straight wins, really starts entering the discussion that maybe they aren't an automatic relegation candidate. That intrigues me. Okay, I think that covers them. Wolves. All right, we're going to go on a little rant. I don't know if it's going to be a rant, whatever you want to call it. Joao Moutinho, 4,300. For FSI subscribers, I joke all the time because Storm always tries to convince me Moutinho isn't playing. Not so much lately. I'm not going to give him a hard time with that. But, you always sit there, you go long-term numbers, you go, like, Moutinho, sub 5,000 should be in play. All right, I want to go take a bath, then I want to puke. Maybe that means I have to play Pukki this play. Then I want to take another bath, shower, whatever, puke again, because he's totally in play. Like, and if Luka Modrić or Billy Gilmore are not in, there's a really high likelihood that Moutinho is, like, decently heavily owned, and that I might even have him in cash, and I just want to vomit thinking about it. Because here's the thing, Joao Moutinho is the exact type of player that I talk about over and over again. I think I talk about it with him being the subject of a player that if the sets are not there, or if the team is not generating corners, you are just royally screwed. Because he does little to nothing in open play. No crosses come from open play. Like, he's been even sitting deeper sometimes than Ruben Neves, who's been pushing forward more. He's older. He's not really that big of a sub-risk. He almost always plays like 80 minutes. But my God, you can get one cross, maybe not even a shot assist, a foul drawn, a tackle, a yellow card, and you paid $4,300 for like 1.5 points, and just, oh my God. And your lineup is wrecked. And you just go, why did I play this guy? There was no upside. He wasn't scoring a goal. I was drawing to like 2 corners and just praying that Ruben Saiz, or however you say his name, or Raul Jimenez, or somebody got ahead on it. God, I'm talking myself back out. I was like talking myself into it, and I talked myself right back out. I don't know. I hope there's somebody else just more interesting in that range, or that we just have Luka and Billy Gilmore, or I don't know, Fabinho. I don't know. It's really, really a dark place to be considering Joao Moutinho. But just understand, he's in play. He still took some set pieces. I think he had like 9.5 DK last week. So he's even like checking the recent form model, if that's such a thing. Do we have models in soccer? I'm much curious if there's sites out there that do projections. I'm sure there are. I think RotoWire does, but I don't know. I don't use them. I don't like to use projections in any DFS. It's like to build and go. Okay. Got to think now. Get back on track now that the Joao Moutinho rant's over. Ryan Out-Nori, I think he's going to be super popular. I think for a lot of people, going Out-Nori and TAA and optimal builds, they're going to be the first two clicks. Out-Nori coming off like 22 DK, like 14 and 15 crosses, took a majority of the set pieces. Joao Moutinho took some. They play that wing-back system where he gets forward a ton anyways. So, I really like Out-Nori. Norwich is a good matchup. They're the second biggest favorite on the slate. So, I'm a huge fan of him. Definitely much more than like Semedo. And then I think like after those two, it just kind of falls off the cliff for Wolves. Now I think that they will not be owned that much, so they're a really interesting GPP team, like doing like Out-Nori, Raul Jimenez stack or something like that. But other forwards are I think it's He-Chan and Daniel Podence. Neither one had like a great floor. Podence a little bit. He took some set pieces last year. 5,900. I think that, especially if you don't have like Rashika, that might be the common forward punt. But the other two definitely in play as well. Ruben Neves, YOLO. That would actually be interesting. I don't know what his price is. But maybe, if he's only like 200 or 300 more than Moutinho, that would be a more fun play. Ruben Neves is a damn good real-life player, so that's definitely the route. I'm not a big fan of Jose Sa here. I think, again, I like Norwich in this game. I think it's a really good Norwich spot to maybe pull up an upset, so that's where I'm going. All right, that'll do it. I'm not even halfway to my destination. Need more games, fill up more of my time, but thank you all for watching. Thank you all for putting up, if you made it this long, putting up with like nonsense. But I hope you get a lot of the content. Again, definitely going to be looking at the DFS like Soccer 101 type of video series. So shoot some ideas. Find me on Twitter at GatorGuy231 if you have any other questions. With that, I'll say, see you.